Hello, welcome to this update for the Atlantic and also North America. So as you can see, we have tropical storm Melissa in the Caribbean now. We talked about this, I think, some 4 days ago, while this wave was still in the Atlantic. And yesterday, it had a high chance of development, and today finally developed into tropical storm Melissa. So it's there very close to South America and expected to turn slightly north towards Jamaica and Haiti. Some some earlier guidance from yesterday were hinting towards Central America, but most guidance today is pointing at north near Jamaica. So let's see. This is the current cone, the National Hurricane Center. It will meander a while in the Caribbean, so you won't go like fast. It will stay meandering a while. But it does show a tropical storm watch there in Jamaica and a hurricane watch in southern Haiti already. So please, if you are in those areas, just monitor this and make some preparations. I won't say that this will hit you because there's still some lot of uncertainty still, but just be ready because a hurricane watch is already a big deal. So please be ready for this. So let's see. The rainfall estimates are at 200 to 300 millimeters to southern Dominican Republic into southern Haiti, like some 8 to 12 inches. And there's also in the dark yellow in spots of most of southern Haiti, the Dominican Republic, 150 to 200 millimeters, and spots in eastern Jamaica, 50 to 100 millimeters already. So please stay safe, monitor this, especially in the southernmost side of Hispaniola, where more flooding might occur. So let's see here first. Se espera que Melissa traiga fuertes lluvias y riesgo de inundaciones repentinas significativas y el peligro de deslizamientos de tierra a porciones de Haití y la República Dominicana hasta el fin de semana. Una vigilancia de huracán se ha emitido para la costa sur de la península de Tiburón de Haití, una vigilancia de tormenta tropical emitido para Jamaica. Los preparativos para proteger la vida y la propiedad deben completarse para el jueves. Hay una incertidumbre significativa en la trayectoria del pronóstico y la intensidad de Melissa, pero los intereses en otros lugares de Española y Cuba deben continuar monitorando. So let's see here in English now. Melissa is expected to bring some heavy rainfall and significant risk of flash flooding and the danger of landslides, parts of Haiti, the Dominican Republic through the weekend. And the hurricane watch has been issued for southern coast of the Tiburon Peninsula of Haiti and tropical storm watch has been issued for Jamaica. Preparations to protect life and property should be completed by Thursday. There's a significant uncertainty in the track and intensity of Melissa, but interest elsewhere across Cuba, Hispaniola, and other areas should monitor the latest forecasts. So please stay safe in those areas. There's a good chance of tropical storm force winds there in spots of eastern Jamaica into Haiti, especially southern tip of the Tiburon Peninsula and other spots of Haiti. There's a chance of tropical storm force winds. So please stay safe. Hurricane force winds still a low chance, but already present mainly out in the ocean. But if this turns into a hurricane, it will be stronger the chances here. So please be aware. And like it might remain a tropical storm until Thursday, and it does show strengthening to a hurricane by Friday, Saturday. But there's still a lot of uncertainty. But the water temperatures in that part of the world is like very hot in the Caribbean, some 30 degrees Celsius, the sea surface temperatures in those areas, like in the central Caribbean. So there's a lot of moisture and heat for this thing to strengthen. The only thing that might try to stop it is dry air or wind shear. But if those conditions are right, with this boiling water, this thing might rapidly strengthen because of these sea surface temperatures. So we'll keep watching it. The intensity guidance, I don't think it's available yet, but I'll refresh this soon. but it does show the track is very split, the track, but most models are going north. Some closer to Cuba, other ones over Cuba, and most of them between Hispaniola and Cuba, and especially like Haiti and the Dominican Republic. So please be careful. And like the Canadians also going further towards Cuba. So please continue to monitor this. There's like Western Atlantic. The GFS does show like let's check if there's any important wind shear or not. So most strong wind shear is out in the US there and the Atlantic. Where Melissa is, it doesn't show much wind shear. Is to the north of it, but as Melissa goes, it kind of stays in a good area because right where it is, it doesn't show wind shear right over it, but just north there will be. So I think the conditions are not 100% favorable, but definitely those sea surface temperatures will help a lot to strengthen. So let's just see if there's any dust here. This late in the season, there's not much dust left, but let's see. Dust shows still in the Atlantic and spots near the northeastern Caribbean. So Melissa is there, this pin here in the map. But as it goes, it shows some dust behind it and some dust in the Turks and Caicos, like the dry air. So it goes, the European does decrease the dry air a little bit. And then Thursday, but still some dry air in a few areas, but not too much to stop it. Not enough dry air to stop it, but still some dry air. So definitely the conditions are favorable, and especially those sea surface temperatures, but still watching the wind shear and the other factors, because if we just base ourselves on the sea surface temperatures, this thing would skyrocket, but there's still other conditions to look at. But please be aware those areas and start making some preparations across Haiti and Jamaica. I would say the Dominican Republic as well, because of the flooding that might happen. So please prepare there. And if I were you in Cuba, I would also start preparing because most model guidance passes this right near or over eastern Cuba. So please stay safe in those areas and warn others. For now, nothing else concerning to watch in the Atlantic, but still watching, but the near future seems quiet after Melissa passes. And like 3 days ago, the Eastern Pacific had nothing, like no tropical cyclone formation expected, but now I just came opened and disappeared. 70% chance a shock wave located a few miles south of the coast of southern Mexico is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms, and weather conditions appear to be conducted for gradual development, and a tropical depression might form late this week. So this is just heading out to sea, so don't worry about this much. But just worry there in the Caribbean because this storm might really affect land. So be aware there. And I don't know why the global and plus hurricane models are not available yet. I think because this has just been designated tropical storm and there's not much time to update these models yet. But when we get the intensity guidance, I'm sure it will be interesting. But let's see the European ensembles here just to see what it thinks. So it does bring Melissa, half of the members are going west and half are going north. So the European is kind of split. And then most of them linger near Central America and some of them go towards Haiti. So the European is still a half split, but the other models are surely going towards Haiti and Cuba. But if you were to base yourselves on the European model, it's trending more towards Central America. But later, take a look at this. It trends first towards Central America, but later it does trend north. So it goes almost until Nicaragua, but then in long range it turns north to Cuba. And if this happens, it might be worse because you will stay more time over those warm waters. It might strengthen more if it goes west and then turns north. So better watch this closely. But if it turns north faster, it might have less chance to strengthen. But yeah, so please just monitor this and just watch it if you are in Central America, but most likely it won't hit you directly, but just watch it as well. And later in this month, in November, it's not showing anything concerning, just a few non-tropical low pressures in the north, but nothing concerning. Here, there's the Google AI as well, and it does approach Central America like 2 or 3 members, but most of it goes towards Haiti and Cuba and Jamaica possibly. So please just warn others there. This might be a very dangerous situation. So stay safe and let's just see like there's something else here. Western Atlantic. So it shows the European model, this goes and it does linger there a lot, and then it eventually approaches, remember, between Haiti and Jamaica, and then it does strengthen to a hurricane category 1 or something. But let's see the zeros actually go out further. So this goes shows like still meandering there, and then it actually weakens a little bit before it goes west towards Central America on the 27th, and it strengthens and turns north again into Cuba. And this would be a very bad scenario there around the 29th, the Bahamas, and later goes away. But this is just one scenario, and a million things could happen. But there's the GFS here. It shows like this goes, approaches Haiti, and the GFS just goes directly into Hispaniola without even going west. It just goes into Haiti and the Dominican Republic and out into the Atlantic. So this is also one of the most likely possibilities. Most of the models are trending like Haiti, Cuba, but the GFS might be right as well, like go directly into Hispaniola, not even passing over Cuba. So better just watch it and please make some preparations in the areas with warning, especially across Haiti, Jamaica, and spots of Hispaniola and Dominican Republic, of course. So please be aware there and warn others. Let's just see the Canadian model. So it does show this goes there and it strengthens a little bit near Jamaica and goes west and then it might turn north. So the Canadian has some interesting ideas. So it goes like the 0 Z shows by the 26th, it starts going north stronger to the Cayman Islands and Cuba. So it's the same thing that the European did. The Canadian is a similar idea to the European model. So better just watch it across Cuba and Central America, but please be prepared if you are in those areas near Hispaniola and Jamaica. So the European model has like 200 meters, the southern coast of the Dominican Republic, next 5 days. 200, even a few areas might be close to like 300. So please be careful. Southern Haiti around 300 or more, alright, in the southernmost parts of the Tiburon Peninsula. And please be careful in those areas. And it does show towards eastern Jamaica as well, 200 or even like 230 or more the next 5 days, so please stay safe. And later on, it does go kind of west near Jamaica and into Cuba, but that's the long range. So please be aware those areas, and the GFS does show it directly going into Haiti and the Dominican Republic. So the GFS is like 300 millimeters, even more than 400 in the southern Dominican Republic. So please stay safe in those areas. Puerto Rico, some 200 or more. So please be careful. But this is just one scenario. Like the icon has 400 meters, the tip of the Dominican Republic too, and it doesn't barely has anything in Jamaica. So it might be one way or another. The European further west or the GFS just north. The GFS and the icon are kind of together. But please be careful, especially in the areas that might experience flooding this week, the Dominican Republic and Haiti and Jamaica possibly as well. So please just warn others, be careful of damaging winds. And in terms of damage winds, we can't know the exact strength yet, but let's just see an estimation. The wind gusts the European shows Today's Tuesday into Wednesday. Be careful the rip currents and rough surf across most of the Caribbean, the coast of South America as well, in Central America, and especially the Hispaniola, Jamaica, and Cuba. The rough seas, but this goes, most of the strong winds remain over water by the European model, but it does show later by Sunday, getting near Hispaniola, the tip of Haiti, close to 100 km per gust. Sunday, this does trend west again, and it goes further west on the European. But if you go on the GFS, it shows like Wednesday, Thursday, and this area goes makes landfall in the Dominican Republic Friday by the GFS with some wind gusts above 116 to 130 km per gust. So we are still very split in terms of the models, but as this week goes by, we will get a better idea. But please just stay safe and make some preparations in all of those areas. So please stay safe and warn others. So the rest of the Atlantic is looking fine. Just be careful, some heavy rains in the tropics as usual, like in Panama, Colombia, Costa Rica, and spots in Nicaragua, into Guatemala, Mexico. But the heaviest is further south now into Panama, Costa Rica, and Colombia. But still some storms in southern Mexico and Honduras, a few areas, and Guatemala still has few storms left. So be careful, and shows there across spots of the Eastern Caribbean. There's a few showers and some thunderstorms as usual. Nothing too crazy, just be aware as always. In Puerto Rico, you are kind of near the edge. This storm won't affect you, but you are close to it. So in case this trends further north or east, just monitor it there. And in Cuba, still nothing crazy for you, but most of the model guidance is trending towards eastern Cuba. Some is trending toward west, of course, like I showed, but a good part of the model guidance is trending towards the Turks and Caicos and eastern Cuba. So in the long range, please monitor across Cuba, those areas in the long range. And the Turks and Caicos, Bahamas should watch closely. So be careful in those areas. In the US, there's also a trend for some heavy rain in the plains there. So let's see what's going on there. Shows like next 7 days of precipitation does show a few spots 3 to 4 inches in spots of Oklahoma and Arkansas into Missouri, even close to 5 inches is a spot or two, but mainly some 3 to 4 inches from more storms there. So some of the storms might have some severe weather and some no, but be aware there. In the Pacific Northwest, more than 5 to 7 inches in the next 7 days, especially like further north you go into Washington, Oregon, but especially Washington there, and into Canada even more. So please be aware. There's this specific point in Lake Erie close to 5 inches, so maybe more rain there as well. So be aware. And snowfall, especially in the Rockies, shows today nothing, but day two there in British Columbia a little bit, and in California like very little. But day three starts increasing Colorado, a probability or two there, and shows like day four still in the northern Rockies Cascades, and day five does increase the probabilities for much of the Cascades and Sierra Nevada into the Rockies there. By day five is Saturday, and then day six even more snow possible, and day seven starts decreasing. But day six should be watched closely next Sunday, so be aware. Excessive rainfall. Today nothing, day two nothing, day three nothing. Day four by Friday does show a slight risk in Oklahoma and Texas already for those storms starting. Marginal as well, and a marginal in the Pacific Northwest. So be careful, some flooding. And day five still a marginal in the mid-south and Gulf there, and a marginal in the Northwest. So be aware in those areas. And it does show here actually today an elevated fire threat across Texas, Central Texas, Texas because of the some higher winds. So be aware. But in terms of severe weather around Lake Erie and spots in Michigan as well, into northern Ontario, Ohio and Michigan especially, and a few more storms around the Great Lakes and the south. So be aware. Wind threat 5% and no hail, and tornado threat nothing as well. So be careful. Isolated strong to locally severe gusts possible afternoon in the lower Great Lakes. Be careful, day two, just a few storms in the southwest, in Florida, and the northeast. But day three is a marginal in Oklahoma, then to Texas, New Mexico, and Kansas. So I bet a few instances of hail and some damaging winds as well. So isolated severe storms capable of hail and damaging winds are possible Thursday night in parts of the southern plains, like I told you. So be careful. Those areas still are marginal, but might change or increase a bit. So be aware in those areas. And let's just see if there's anything interesting here for the Colorado State University probabilities of severe weather. So day 3 through 8, they do have some risk there as well across Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas, like the Storm Prediction Center. So later by day 4, still very minor, but still a storm or two left. But like by day 7, I bet day 7 is like around the 28th. They have a 15% risk again, so better watch from the 27th to the 28th just to be safe, especially the 28th, but still nothing that concerning. So be aware those areas, and does show here like for snow, the European model does have like until Thursday, next 2 days, most of it in Canada, like in British Columbia, some 60, 70 centimeters, northern, northwestern territories, into Yukon, Nunavut, and some light snow in Ontario, central Ontario, so be aware. Into Alaska, show like some 23 inches, 2 inches, more spots central northern Alaska, in the mountains in southern Alaska. So be aware. Now it shows some there in the lower 48 across Utah into Colorado until Thursday, some 2 inches, central Utah, 4 to 7 inches, a few areas, even northern Utah, like 1 inch, shows in Nevada, in California, some 3 inches. So be aware. And if I put this until Sunday now, right, it increases a lot. Most of the Northwest, some 4 inches in Colorado, Washington, Oregon, some 10 inches, even like 12 inches, Northern Washington, in Idaho. So most of this area we will likely have some snow next weekend. So be aware. Nevada as well, Northern Nevada, much of Idaho into Western Montana too. So be aware, and long range does show a little bit more, but not so much. So be aware in those areas, and does increase northern Quebec a little bit, so 4 centimeters, 15 centimeters next 5 days. And spots there in Nunavut and Yukon, Northwestern Territories, and most of Alaska might increase in snow a little bit until next weekend. So be aware, those areas, in terms of temperatures, there's a frigid mass of air across eastern Russia that is affecting spots of Alaska as well, like some 19 degrees Fahrenheit, all the way to minus 15 degrees Fahrenheit, a few spots in central northern Alaska. Some 21. The main sea is there in Anchorage, some 34 degrees Fahrenheit. Even some low 40s on the warmest days, and some high 20s, low 30s in the coldest days there in Anchorage. But the ocean is helping you a lot, so the cold doesn't get too extreme. But in the central northern areas in Alaska, it might get very, very cold. So Thursday still shows there. Friday shows not so harsh, but it's still like in the single digits Fahrenheit. So this goes, and by like Sunday, alright, it shows even like southern Alaska and the mountains -6, 1 Fahrenheit. So be aware, those areas. It shows like spots there in northern Canada shows already some -8 degrees Celsius, -11 Nunavut, very cold as well. Most of central northern Nunavut into northern Manitoba, spots there in Saskatchewan, some negative temperatures during the night, spots in Alberta, especially in the Rockies there, British Columbia. During the afternoon, it does warm up like southernmost Alberta, 16 degrees Celsius. Spots in Ontario, the single digits, but still not frigid, and a few areas during the day better. Just that the Arctic remains negative temperatures during the day in the highest mountains. But this goes in the next night, Thursday morning, shows the temperatures, the negative temperatures make it as far south as Wisconsin, with like some 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 30 degrees Fahrenheit, a few portions of the northern plains, the upper Midwest, and the Rockies in the 20s Fahrenheit there. In Canada, some -1, 0 degrees Celsius, and some negative temperatures during the night, central into northern Canada, spot to the west. But eastern Quebec and the Atlantic is still mildish. So be aware Thursday, the afternoon it does warm. This is Thursday afternoon in Texas, still some 90s, Southern California some 80s, Mexico in the 20s, 30s degrees Celsius, especially in the hottest areas, and then still warm across the south. But Friday morning. So that was actually like Thursday afternoonish. Now Friday morning shows even some 30 degrees Fahrenheit again, 28 in Minnesota already. Alright, some negative temperatures 29, spots the Appalachians, some 30s, and the Rockies 28 to even 20 degrees Fahrenheit in the mountains. But you will get a pretty good chill in the Midwest later this week. So be careful. Shows there in the northeast into the Appalachians in southeastern Canada. Alright, starts getting some frosts in a few areas by Saturday morning. Still hot in a few areas in the south, extreme southern California and southern Texas by Saturday. But during the night, we'll get a mass of cold air in eastern Canada and the western US, some like 20s, 30 degrees Fahrenheit in the mountains, the west, and some 30s there in New England, northeast by Sunday morning. Spots in eastern Canada, some -1 to -2, spots in Quebec to -4, northern Quebec, and already some cold nights in the south, in southern Canada. So be aware. And this is Monday. I know it's black and white, but you can already see it might get very cold, even like in the teens Fahrenheit, a few mountains in the west. 12, 13 Fahrenheit on the European. So next week on the 27th might start a cold period. So just be aware of that. But as we get closer, I will update more. So be aware, those areas in terms of rain, I showed you in the US, but there in the Pacific coast of Canada, does show more than 100 millimeters as well. So 171, 200 millimeters near the coast. The mountains get filled with snow, but right on the coast, this will be rain. So please stay safe. Be aware of some potential flooding, those Pacific cold fronts and spots in Newfoundland and Labrador shows slightly heavy rain, a few spots from a front there in the Atlantic. So be aware, it shows rain over most of Quebec next 5 days. Spots in Ontario in the west a little bit less, but like the central areas, the west, there's a lot. So be aware and stay safe. Shows like as well some wingus. Let's see if it's here. So it shows that this broad cyclone there spots in the Midwest, some strong gusts today, especially like let's see miles per hour. So some 40s mile per gusts on the European Tuesday today this goes and like they're shown the Pacific coast there in Alaska, British Columbia Wednesday. That cyclones, the strong cold front starting tonight and Wednesday, and still on Thursday shows some strong gusts there in lower British Columbia. So even to 102 km per gust, a few areas mixed with rain and heavy snow on this front, and eventually in the Rockies, some higher gusts in the Rockies by Friday too, and spots in the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon, Saturday, and still another Pacific cyclone possible, some strong gusts later Saturday, even like a few spots 40 close to 50 mile per gusts Saturday, Sunday, and still lower down in California by Sunday, Monday into the Rockies. So still watching this broad trough coming and the storms and everything. So stay safe. We'll keep monitoring and please stay safe. The hurricane down there.